You got us.
Fucking dyke.
It's only about 10%.
The story begins with a man returning home after a tiring day at work and rushing to grab a watch from the cupboard, but suddenly someone sneaks up behind him and ties a rope around his neck, staging the scene to look like a suicide just as a professional hitman named Mike arrives and kills the man to complete the job. Then Mike heads to a bar where he witnesses a woman about to be harassed by a group of thugs, and without hesitation he beats them up.
Fighters, no technique.
Before walking into another bar known as a secret meeting place for contract killers run by Ray, a former mobster who once trained Mike and now leads a syndicate of elite assassins. Ray has gathered killers from different backgrounds, including Cliff, a savage murderer who uses a massive axe to dismember his victims, Pete, a strange-looking yet highly skilled poison expert whose victims never realize they've been poisoned, Mick and Mac, two former soldiers who fought in Afghanistan and now work as hitmen, Jane, a female samurai and ex-US soldier who mastered the art of the sword, Fred, a large man who uses modified weapons like bomb-rigged microwaves and toxic gas to eliminate targets, and Milton, an elderly handler who serves as a mediator between clients and assassins, distributing jobs and payments. Ray's organization enforces two strict rules: members must never kill each other and must never investigate or expose client identities. Violators of these rules face immediate execution. Mike is soon pulled aside by Milton, who reminds him of an unfinished job that needs to be completed urgently. The next morning, Mike prepares his sniper rifle and scouts his target from a rooftop. After a few hours, he shoots at a moving car, causing it to crash and kill the target. Returning home, Mike receives a message from Milton, who instructs him to come collect his payment and receive another assignment. That evening, Mike learns his next target is a metal band performing at a venue. He sabotages the electrical system, causing the band members to die from electric shock. After completing the mission, Mike goes to the meeting point to get paid, but is unexpectedly attacked by a stranger who refuses to reveal why he's after Mike, so Mike kills him.
I don't want to know anything.
At night, while Mike is resting, he gets a message from Sarah informing him that his ex-girlfriend Beth has been found dead in her home. Devastated by the news, Mike attends Beth's funeral the next day to pay his respects. Afterwards, Sarah explains that Beth was killed during a robbery by drug addicts, but the tragedy deepens when she reveals Beth was pregnant with Mike's child before they broke up. Shocked and heartbroken, Mike vows to find the person responsible for her death and take revenge. He later sees a news report stating that the alleged killer died of a drug overdose, but his instincts tell him something's off. As a professional killer, Mike suspects foul play and visits Beth's home to reconstruct the crime scene. Analyzing the evidence, he concludes that this was no robbery but a professional hit, covered up to look like one, and he begins to suspect Mick and Mac might be behind it since they're skilled in staging murders. He confronts the two, who at first deny involvement, but eventually Mac confesses to the killing. Filled with rage, Mike engages them in a brutal fight, and although he's outnumbered, he manages to defeat them and spares their lives since they're fellow members of Ray's syndicate. That night, Mike returns to the headquarters to confront Milton, but finds him missing. Ray warns Mike not to escalate things further, but Mike is determined to uncover the truth, prompting a flashback to Mike's childhood when he was a newspaper boy, often bullied by a gang. One day, while hiding in a garage, he witnesses a man enter a house that later explodes. Intrigued, Mike follows and records the man's actions, discovering that it was Ray who carried out the hit. Instead of exposing him, Mike asks Ray to teach him how to kill so he can avenge his bullies. Ray initially considers killing Mike, but changes his mind, seeing potential in the boy, and agrees to train him on the condition that he keeps Ray's secret. Over time, Mike becomes fascinated by Ray's meticulous methods of killing and soon begins his career as a hitman. His first mission is to kill Romeo, the gang leader who bullied him, and after doing so, Mike embraces the life of an assassin, honing his combat skills and mastering the art of erasing his tracks. Back in the present, Mike refuses to let Beth's murder go unpunished. He believes The killer was hired by someone connected to Beth's activism and seeks out Sarah for answers before they can talk. They're ambushed by Cliff, who attacks with an axe, but Mike kills him during the struggle. Sarah then reveals that Beth once hacked sensitive information from an oil refinery company and may have been targeted for exposing corruption. Determined to find the mastermind, Mike storms into Milton's massage parlor and, after defeating the guards, tortures Milton, who finally admits that Leonardo, an accountant at the refinery company, hired the hitman. Before leaving, Fred warns Mike that Ray has put a bounty on his head for breaking the group's rules. Ray soon orders all members to hunt Mike down. As predicted, Mike becomes a target while he meets Sarah to hand over the incriminating data. Though he has enough evidence to expose the refinery company, Mike chooses vengeance over justice and sets out to eliminate those responsible. Eventually, he tracks down Leonardo and beats a confession out of him. Leonardo admits that his boss Victor is the real mastermind behind the murders, and that the information Beth got came from Rudy, a former accountant at the company who had been killed earlier by Mike during a previous job. Leonardo hands over a recording of a conversation between Victor and Milton proving their conspiracy, but before Mike can leave, Mick and Mac return to kill him, but Mike defeats them both. Shortly after, Pete appears and tries to drug Mike but fails and is taken down. Then Fred confronts him too, but Mike beats him as well. Mike finally heads to Victor's residence, where he finds Jane, now working as Victor's personal bodyguard. Unwilling to back down, Mike engages her in a fierce duel. Jane fights back with her samurai sword, but Mike ultimately kills her and proceeds to confront Victor, who pleads for his life and confesses everything. Mike kills him and returns to Ray's base to deliver the recording, which captures the conversation between Milton and Victor, proving they plotted to kill Mike to make things easier for themselves. Ray listens to the recording and, in a fit of rage, viciously beats Milton. Mike, appearing to forgive Milton, gives him a band-aid, but it turns out to be poisoned and Milton dies shortly after. Ray then points a gun at Mike and tells him to leave and never return. Without saying a word, Mike turns around and walks away. As the story ends, thank you for watching, and if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe.